This is Milo, and today I'm going to be reviewing the KC84 by Yunzii. This is a 75% keyboard. It's Hotswap, it has nice switches and nice keycaps. Those are some of my favorite features, but I'm going to be doing a full review, so let's get straight into this video. I know a lot of people out there have unlicensed versions of Windows. Personally, I had a MacBook Air that I edited YouTube videos on for a bit, and I had Windows on it, and it had a watermark, and it wasn't a great experience. But the sponsor of today's video, which is BobKeys, offers a solution to this. So they are an online platform that distributes digital video game codes and also Windows codes, and they offer huge discounts for these. So to buy the Windows product key, all you have to do is go to the web page, then it's going to be $19.50, create an account, and then you type in my promo code and you'll get a 25% discount. That promo code will be in the description of this video. Then just take that code, then go to the Windows activation page and then type in the code, and it's going to last forever and it will not expire. Also, I already have Windows 10 on my computer, so I'm giving away one Windows 10 Pro account. And to enter the giveaway, just comment down below and I'll be picking a random person. And let's get straight back to this video. The first thing that I'm going to talk about is the case, and this is a black textured plastic. In my opinion, it feels pretty nice and it's sturdy. And then it also has rubber feet on it, and it also has two sets in the back that flips out if you want a second level of height. And they're pretty solid and they grip to the desk well so they don't move around. And the USB-C port in this case is actually underneath it, so you can actually route the cable to the left, right, and back, and you can also route it down if you drill a hole, so it has a lot of options for cable management, which is nice to see. And the switch to turn on the Bluetooth is underneath the keyboard near the sticker, and it's really small. You can just turn that on and off if you want to turn the Bluetooth on, and it has a battery inside of it, so you don't have to put batteries in the keyboard, which is nice because people always forget to swap out the batteries, and they also don't really last as long as a rechargeable battery because you can just plug the keyboard in and then it starts recharging itself. This keyboard does have thicker bezels than most keyboards, and that doesn't really bother me. I feel like it just makes the keyboard look more sturdy, but I really hate bezels on phones and monitors. So if you want a really clean and minimal keyboard, then I probably wouldn't recommend this one. It's actually a high profile case design, so it's pretty much the opposite of minimal. And it also has a white metal plate inside of it. The white color is good for reflecting the RGB, and also it adds a lot of rigidity to the keyboard. So if you try and twist it, it doesn't flex at all, which is nice to see. And I actually am able to take apart the case of the keyboard with only my fingernails because it's bottom mount and it's held in with clips, not screws. So I can just slide my fingernail underneath it and pop out the top piece, and then the bottom piece comes right out. And then I can get to the plate, and I can also get to the PCB and underneath the case where the battery is stored. And the keyboard does not have foam, which dampens the sound, so if you want to make this keyboard even better, you can add foam underneath it. You just have to cut out the foam where the battery is so that it doesn't interfere with anything, but it really does make the typing experience better, and I would like the manufacturer to add this because it's not expensive and it's just such an improvement in my opinion. The switches in this keyboard are Gateron. They're pretty standard, just red, brown, blues, and black. And what's really awesome about this keyboard is that these switches are nice, but you can hot swap them, which is so much nicer. You basically get the option to customize this if you want to, and that pretty much makes every soldered in keyboard inferior in my opinion, unless if you really just don't want to customize your keyboard. The Gateron switches are good in my opinion. They're much better than Cherry, but I do notice that they have some stem wobble, which is kind of annoying. I don't really like that. It's not going to make the typing experience worse, but it is more noticeable than the Kale switches that I have. Also, they are plate mount, so they aren't as secure as PCB mount would be. And the PCB does support PCB mount switches though, so if you do buy something like Zelios, you won't have to clip the legs off. I wish they just use normal PCB mount switches, but I'm guessing the plate mount switches are a bit cheaper, and that's why they chose this option. And the switches that I chose for my keyboard are blacks, which are basically heavy linears, and I really love the feeling of these because it helps me from not bottoming out. I kind of type heavy, and these would feel even better if I lube them, and because this is Hotswap, I can easily get inside of the switches. So after this video, I'll probably make one of me lubing this keyboard and just seeing how it feels. And then also, the stabilizers aren't great. They're pretty rattly, but what's nice is that I know what the rattle is coming from. It's from them being plate mount and having a little bit of wiggle room. So if I want to fix this, I can easily put band-aid or some type of material in between the plate and the stabilizers, and that will stop them from rattling. Also, they are lubed, so they are pretty smooth, and they're pretty decent other than the rattle. The keycaps on this keyboard are double shot PBT plastic, and they have a really cool two-tone color theme. It's a graphite blue and then a darker blue, but I'm actually colorblind and I see this as light brown and brown. I'm looking at it harder and I really don't see the blue. Maybe it's the legends that are blue, but the manufacturer actually says that these are dye sub keycaps, but I actually thought about that and I actually looked really closely at this, and you can tell that they're double shot because underneath the keycap you can see the second piece of plastic. Also, double shot legends are crisper than dye sub, and that was also apparent on this keyboard. Another thing is that the font is a gamer theme. It's kind of stenciled, and I don't really like that look, but that also is a really common font for double shot keycaps. And then another thing is that on two keycaps there's a slight factory error where there's a gap between the double shot plastic and the keycap plastic, which basically is just a clear giveaway that these are double shot and not dye sub. Also, the profile for these keycaps is OEM, which is basically just a standard height for keyboards, and I like the feel of this. It's kind of like a middle ground, and I know a lot of people will enjoy this. Personally, my favorite is SA, but those are a bit more expensive for a common keyboard. And OEM's just pretty standard. You'll see this on Corsair keyboards. You'll see them on Ducky keyboards. Pretty much any main manufacturer will use OEM. So if you're switching from like a different keyboard like an RK61, which is cheaper, then you'll feel right at home with this one. And then also, the layout is kind of weird, so it will be hard to find different keycaps. The right Alt and FN and control keys are actually shorter than they normally would be on an ANSI layout, and also the Shift key is squashed down. So if you want to customize the keycaps on this keyboard, I would not recommend doing that unless if you want to buy a GMK set with like an extension kit or like a Dami Keys keycap set, because Dami Key does have a lot of compatibility options. And then the RGB is customizable with functions on the keyboard, and it's bright and vibrant in my opinion. I have had a keyboard similar to this before, and it was perfectly fine for me. Another thing is that with the RGB you could just get shine through keycaps for this keyboard, and then it'll be even brighter, and then you can just have an RGB party, I guess. And then like I said, this is a Bluetooth keyboard. It has that little switch underneath it to turn it on and off, and you can actually save multiple devices for the Bluetooth, so you don't have to like sign off of one of your devices, and it will remember the information. And to charge this, all you have to do is plug in the keyboard and it'll start charging from your computer, and it actually lasts over 100 hours, and that's really good for Bluetooth. That's better than the RK61 and a couple of other keyboards that I have reviewed. And the battery is 2,700 milliamp hours. I don't exactly know what that means, but if you do, then that's good to know. So in summary, the case is rigid and it has a nice white plate that reflects the RGB. It has Hotswap sockets with nice Gateron switches, a little bit of stem wobble, but that's not a big deal in my opinion. And the Hotswap sockets really makes this keyboard amazing in my opinion. And also the keycaps are really nice double shot PBT, and it has RGB. You can add Bluetooth layers and profiles, and overall this is just a really good keyboard, and I'd recommend this to anybody that is looking for a $100 keyboard but wants something with Bluetooth and customizability. And I would definitely recommend this to most people out there over a keyboard like the An Pro 2 or the Ducky 1.2 Mini. And that's pretty much all I have for you guys today. If you enjoyed this video, then please feel free to like and subscribe. It means a lot to me, and peace out.